Hi everyone, from me, Brent Graham of Goodforthegame.co.za. Welcome to this Tour de France Stage 4 betting preview. I cannot wait for this one. Can you believe it? We're into the mountains already. We're only on Stage 4. And let me tell you, we've had 3 upsets already. The bookmakers, I can tell you, if you're not making money as a bookmaker in this Tour de France, you're doing something horribly wrong. We'll have a good look at today's stage. We'll discuss whether Pogacar will attack on the Galibier. We'll also have a look at the latest betting, the green jersey betting in particular, being shaken up after today's result. If you enjoy these previews and your sports previews in general, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and of course hit the bell as well to make sure you get notified of all of our shows. Right, stage 3, we did say it would be a bit of a boring stage. I did expect a breakaway to go clear early, but I suppose when you think about it, who in their right minds is going to make a breakaway and sit out in front of that peloton for probably 200 kilometers only to be chased down and get nothing other than a few points and perhaps combativity award out of it on the day. So anyway, the good news is the peloton at least rode some tempo, so they didn't actually finish at a bad time. At one stage, I thought we were going to be heading for an 8 o'clock finish. But there was drama in the running. First of all, Mathieu van der Poel had a mechanical, so he wasn't going to be there to lead the hot pot favorite into the straight and put him into position. And then, of course, we had a big crash, which took out a few of the riders. Philipsen, the favorite, not making it to the end. Well, made it to the end, but he didn't make it in the group to sprint. And, of course, Cavendish, unfortunately, still looking for that elusive record of victory. But what a sprint from Biniam Girmay. He came through a very dangerous-looking gap just inside of Mats Pedersen, and he managed to win. When I say fairly comfortably, you could virtually throw a blanket over the first 10 riders. It was an exceptional finish. And just having a look at some of the others down the list, Gaviria, best sprint I've seen from him in a while. The up-and-coming De Lee, very good from him. Mats Pedersen, a bit disappointing for me, my green jersey pick. Good that he picked up points, but I felt he could have done better. I just think he hits the front too early. If he could just have that bit more patience, he'd be right there in the top 3. Groenewegen also showing some decent form. Jakobsen, what impressed me about him was how badly he looked in the mountains, and good to see him in the top 10. And then, of course, getting me off the mark with the bookmakers, Brian Kakar there. He was my bet to finish top 10. I saw him squeak in. I knew he was thereabouts. I knew he was 10th or 11th. I was relieved when I saw the results come up and put him into 10th. Anyway, great sprint. And, these stages are necessary in the Tour de France. Not all stages expect you. Well, you shouldn't be watching all stages from start to finish. Let's put it that way. Let's have a look at the yellow jersey. Carapaz finishing in the top 20 there. Pogacar coming a little bit behind after that crash. And Carapaz is the new yellow jersey. But all 4 of these riders still have the same time. A quick look at the betting. This is at Bet Exchange. You've got 19 to 20 Pogacar. Just over 12 to 10 Vingegaard there. 11's Remco and 22 to 1 Rogic. It's still really looking a 2-horse race at the moment. We'll have a look at the green jersey. There has been some changes here. Jonas Abramson actually leads that classification still on 76 points, but Girmay moved up into second now at 66, and they're in 4th position. Mats Pedersen, my pick. So Pedersen has shortened to 4.2 to 1. This is net decimal odds. And Philipsen now over even money for the first time. But you could see, Girmay today, 50 points for that victory. It's a massive difference even between first and second. So as long as Philipsen finds his sprinting legs, he's still very much in this competition. Girmay, obviously a big mover as well now into 7s. And the big drift is from Wout van Aert, who clearly is not going for this green jersey and is unlikely to get enough points if he's not going to mix it in the bunch sprints. He is a 25 to 1. To win the green jersey. The polka dot jersey update, I just want to spend a bit of time on this. Abramson also leading this one, but only with 24 points. Tomorrow's final climb is worth 20 points, and there's 2 climbs before that, each worth 5. So someone could go win all 3 climbs tomorrow and actually go to the top. Although I expect Abramson to be in the break defending the King of the Mountains jersey tomorrow. We've got Pogacar here at just under 5, Vingegaard at just over 6. I am looking for some of the longer prices, and there's a couple on this page, because like I've said repeatedly, I don't think Pogacar or Vingegaard are going to win this, which means there must be value elsewhere. But of course, finding out where that is easier said than done. Just a reminder, the World Sports Betting Special, particularly if you want to put back Pogacar in stage 4, he's quite a short price, actually not a bad price comparatively at World Sports Betting, but you can get your money back if he finishes second in the form of free bets. Let's have a look at the route. It's only 139.6 kilometers long. And what a ride this race is going to be to take us back into France. Basically, the riders, if you look here, start climbing from the start. This first Cat 2 climb, it's 39.9 kilometers at 3.7%. So it's not the steepest average. But come on now, 40 kilometers of climbing, you've got to be kidding me. We're going to surely get a pretty strong break go away. A lot of climbers that are well out of yellow jersey contention, because, of course, Carapaz is going to defend that jersey with all his might. His Team EF education will be on the front and certainly making sure that no one too dangerous to the yellow jersey gets in the break. You've then got a descent, and then it's up the next two climb, 8.3 kilometers at 5.9%, softening up the legs nicely before we finally climb one of the mythical climbs of the Tour de France, the Col de Galibier, at 23 kilometers at 5.1%. And then there's a steep descent into the finish. You don't see it on this profile, but there's actually a little climb up towards the line, I believe. So, well, let's have a look at the betting, and then we can come back to the profile and discuss what will actually happen. Pogacar is the favorite at 5-2. Favorite backers, you're getting burnt in this Tour de France, no doubt about it. There's been 3 massive upsets in 3 races. I dream of being a bookmaker in Tour de France's like this. Jonas Vingegaard, 11-1. Well, we'll talk about how each of them can win now. Remco Evenepoel and Tom Pidcock, 14-1. And we'll go down. I don't really have, that's one of my fancies for the stage. In fact, 2 of them are not even on this page. So we'll go back a little bit later. But Pogacar, the key thing here is the 5-2 favorite. Back to the profile. And what are we going to have? We're going to have a strong break that goes away. But this is a short stage. And I think EF are going to keep it under control, first of all. And then I think by the time we get to the foot of the Galibier, I think UAE are going to put the pressure on. Vingegaard has looked infallible up to now, but this is the first time they get to test him on a real climb. There's no doubt his team hasn't looked the strongest. I mean, he's got Jorgensen there, and he's got he's got a couple of guys around him, but he's missing Sepp Kuss. And last year, of course, he had Roglic as a teammate in the Tour de France. So I think the breakaway will take the first 2 climbs, and then whether or not the break will stick, I think is doubtful just because of the length of the stage. I think the race is going to be on, and UAE are going to start turning the screws from the bottom of the Galibier to try and put pressure on and shed riders. And then it's going to be very interesting. You expect Pogacar to attack at some point, but I've been thinking about this. I think tactically what UAE should do here, by all means, they're riding for Pogacar, but I think they should use one of the other lieutenants who's still very close up in the general classification to attack and put some pressure on Vingegaard to say, particularly if you've managed to shed Vingegaard of most of his teammates, to say, come on, now you chase him down. Of course, that's a real game of poker for Pogacar because he doesn't really want his teammate building a big lead and becoming the favorite for the yellow jersey. But he can force the Visma Lee's team to really do some work. So going to be very, very interesting. What will happen? Will Pogacar go over alone? Will the breakaway still be in front of him? I'm not sure, but the way I'm betting today, I'm gonna, you know me, I do like my long shots. If Pogacar was 4-1, I'm all for taking him, particularly with that World Sports Betting Insurance. But he's just a little bit short for my liking, and this Tour de France has shown us that short-priced favorites, so much can go wrong. They can get rolled really easily. Let's have a look at my bets then. First of all, I want to start with a couple of King of the Mountains. These are long-term plays. Tobias Johannesson, he's the teammate of Abramson, who's currently leading the King of the Mountains classification, but a much better climber overall. He's 41-1. I've got a feeling that he might get into the break tomorrow and start building himself a bit of the King of the Mountains campaign. And Omni Oscar as well, he's a couple of minutes behind now, and I think he might get a bit of leeway. I'm hoping to see him in the break, but he's 59-1. So yeah, just throw in a couple of long terms. I always like to keep an eye on the long-term markets as the tour progresses. Right, who am I going to go for? I'm going half a unit on Roglic at 24-1. Roglic, you say, hasn't been showing great form. Yes, he was pipped in stage 2. He lost 21 seconds, which wasn't ideal. He blamed it on the positioning where he was on the climb, and you could argue that's the case. A bit worrying he may not have the legs. But, you know, if you look at that profile, there's every chance that a guy like Roglic could crest 40 seconds behind and actually make up the time on the descent. And in a sprint, he's certainly, he's beaten Pogacar a couple of times in the sprint. So he's one of the faster guys. So I actually think Roglic is a bit of value there at 24-1. And then I'm going for a couple of absolute long shots. João Almeida, this man is riding brilliantly at the moment. And what I'm hoping is that he's not just there to pace Pogacar. If I was UAE, and I'm not saying they're going to do this, but I'm hoping they will, I would send someone like Almeida on the attack, force the hand of the other teams to chase. And if he gets clear and goes on to win the stage, all the better. So I'm taking him at 94-1. Obviously, he can't do a lot of damage at that price. And then the teammate, Ayuso, who I'm a little bit surprised is actually shorter because he hasn't looked as strong. But perhaps that's more the reason they'll use him as an attacking force rather than a sort of a domestique role up the final climb. So I've got the two UAE guys there. I'm hoping they play some cards tomorrow, and that it's not quite as straightforward as just trying to shed everyone with Pogačar attacking. Let's see what happens. It should be a great race. I'm certainly not going to miss it. These are the sort of stages I used to take leave for years ago. These days I'm self-employed, or you could argue unemployed. But either way, I'll be in front of the TV watching these without a doubt. Let me know what you think is going to happen in the stage in the comment section down below. And keep an eye on the Good for the Game forum as well. We guys place bets every day on every stage. Thanks very much for watching. We'll be back probably early hours of, what would it be, Wednesday morning or late Tuesday night with the Stage 5 betting preview.